All right, welcome everyone. This is a Viper Professional Training and Support webinar. Today's date is September 14th, 2016. This is a Wednesday night webinar, and the title of tonight's webinar is Training on Object Types and Use. And as everyone knows that's been to our webinars or our live trading room, everything that we say and do at Viper Trading Systems is for educational purposes only. Futures trading, forex trading, any kind of financial instruments trading involves risk. Therefore, there's always risk of loss. You should only trade discretionary capital, and that is money that you can afford to lose. Nothing said in this webinar. Other webinars we might have or anything else with Viper Trading Systems should never be construed as trading or investment advice. And as always, everyone does trade at their own sole discretion. Any questions on the disclaimer? If not, we are going to get started. All right, and I don't see any. Now, I'm going to go ahead and show something here. Let me go ahead and go to our home page first, because we have people here on an open house this week and next week. And hopefully it'll go to my home page. All right, you should be able to see the home page. I don't know why that took so long. All right, but anyway, if you're here on a trial, be sure and go to our webinar link, because you can't get into the member login, because that has special login IDs and things like that. But you can get into the webinar section of it. And like I said, for some reason, I don't know why my internet's decided to slow down so much tonight, but especially when it clocked out at 178 megabytes and 30 something on the upload even. But anyway, this is the training webinar that you're going to want to watch first. It says training on all Viper indicators and object traders. Probably kind of hard to see, but I'll go ahead and beef it up just a little bit so you can see it better. See where it says training on all Viper indicators and object trader? Be sure and watch that one first, and then pick out a few of the others. One and done with Charles doing his develop patience. These are kind of a really good starting out. New features, I went over the new features in Object Trader, which we'll be doing again tonight. And then these 5 saved trades are really good. Okay, there was 1, 2, 3, I believe there was 5 of them. Let me see if they're over here yet. I may have to bring them over. There's 4. So there's 4 of them on here, but I'm missing the 5th one. I'll get it on here for you also. But be sure and watch some of these webinars. Even that one, wait for the trade to come to you, that's a really good one. Always wait. I mean, waiting around for a trade, you'll notice sometimes, we may miss the thrust, but we're going to get the pullback. And nobody can ever get all of any trade. You want the meat of the trade. And we're going to go over quite a bit of that tonight. So let me go ahead and go back to 100% on this. So it's just normal, and I'll go ahead and kill this. All right. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start out tonight like we do a lot of times. And you should be able to see kind of a black chart here. All right. Now I like to scrunch mine up just a little bit so I can really tell what the overall trend is. Now, what is the overall trend on this chart? It doesn't take a rocket science, so please don't miss it. Absolutely, it's down, right? So the question would be, why would you want to be trading anything but down until it changes to the upside, right? And that's pretty important. Staying with a particular trend, how would you like, for instance, to be, trying to go long at one of these bottoms, and then all of a sudden the market just decides to tank? I mean, the trend is down, so so you don't get left in the dirt, be sure and stick with the particular trend. Now, we do go against the trend on the openings of the market. We'll box in and things like that, but we're still real conscious of fast movement, okay? But you can clearly tell the overall trend is down, right? Now, I drew something, and I drew this manually. Let me show you a little chart that I came up with, and I'll just show it to you. I drew it manually. But doesn't that look like a downtrend? I mean, you can literally tell, you know, when it does a break and then a little pullback and then a break again, if you draw a line on the chart, you can clearly see that they just kiss those and then down they go again. And then you've got a low that's kind of established. This is along the highs, by the way. And see how it just kisses right there and comes up? Didn't take this out. Barely takes it out even here, but it didn't take out the lows. See it right there? So, you know, still a downtrend. And I think I'm going to go ahead and have my programmer give us a lightning 5 that we'll be able to just simply draw this one too if you want. Okay, you notice that I'm not connecting the numbers. You know, for instance, let me go back to let's see, this one here. Yeah, if you do your control key, you'll notice that you connect all your dots like that, but it goes from green to yellow, 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 and so on. Okay, and you can get a good idea of what it's doing even there, right? Okay. But I'm thinking very seriously about having this added also, so that we can just simply click a button, and we may even call it, I don't know, inverse lightning or something like that. I'll just have to figure out what I want to call it. But where you could actually draw, for lack of better terms, it kind of looks like a snake, doesn't it? We'll call it the Viper indicator. How's that? Anyway, we'll figure that out. But I think this might be able to help somebody. You know, maybe you want to just be able to draw along the highs or even along the lows themselves, you know. So I'll talk to my programmer on that. It should be very easy. Call it the Viper Snake, John says. All right. So anyway, with all this out of the way now, we know by looking at this chart that we're looking pretty much for shorts. Okay? And that's really important that, you know, everybody grasps that, because you know, when you trade these markets, you want to make sure that when you've got a high and then you've got a low, you got a fresher high, you got a lower low. Well, until they take this out, and I teach this in all the webinars, that is not heading up. At this very moment anyway. Now, if this was to take out this area right down here and do this, let's say that it just decided to kind of tank down, well then obviously this would be your new high, wouldn't it? Like that. And that's what you just got to look at on your charts, because stair-stepping down means it's trending down. It's not that difficult. And we try to keep the indicators, you know, very simple to where people can trade. Okay. Now tonight is about Object Trader and trade types. So without further ado, let's go ahead and go to a regular chart. I'll show you how to use the Object Trader. Okay, and I went ahead and just started up my data. This is replay data, but what we're going to do is we're going to just simply trade this. I don't trade at 2 o'clock in the morning, so it kind of makes it fair to, you know, do the market replay, and we'll see if we can get some decent trades. Now, judging by what we just talked about just a few minutes ago, where would obviously you want to put your sell in, since we know that we're heading down, because we clearly looked at that little chart that clearly shows we're heading down, right? Kind of sideways now, but still down. So we're looking for a short. Okay. Now with Object Trader, you have some really great trades, and when you study that 2-hour video that I was telling you about, you'll learn a lot about Object Trader. Okay, and the indicators and everything. The only thing that is not mentioned in that particular video is we didn't have power meter or the predictors. Okay, now power meter is actually saying that we've got a little bit of a quandary, because I diagnosed my chart like so, and I'm pretty much thinking it's going to head down. Okay, but you'll notice that this has had some pretty good retraces, and you're starting to get higher lows. Okay, and not really higher highs along in here as much, you know. So, you know, you're in a little bit more of a quandary. But the meters are saying, whoa, you're actually heading up. But what is predictor saying to you? You know, predictor's saying, well, you know what? Until you take out this 45 area right here, that's that same area I drew on the chart a minute ago, we're still looking for shorts. Okay, this is actually mid-band is short, it's telling us that we're looking for shorts, and we haven't had a phantom trade, first time after a trend change. So I would be putting my stock in this trade right here, and if this just decides to blow up and head up, I would not take it long unless it broke this area here by a good amount and then came back and kissed it, and I actually got at least a transition background. This is still a red background, so it's pretty much telling me that I'm looking for shorts. So what I expect it to do instead is something like this to kind of hit my predictor and then head back down. Okay, and it may go choppy because it looks pretty choppy, but we should be able to get some trades on it. So let's go over some of the object types. Now, the way we designed Object Trader is the region is simply like a box. I'm just going to draw just a regular box. That's a region right there. The T button stands for the top of the region, and the B button stands for the bottom of the region. And then all the different trades that can be taken on it are accordingly to what's happening. Like top of the box, for instance, if I set it for long outside close, that means it would have to close outside the box. If I set it for short underneath the box, then obviously it would have to close under the box. But I also have touch. I can even touch outside the box if I want to. Okay, so you've got all these features built into Object Trader, and I'm going to show you how to trade some of these. All right, so let's go ahead and we're going to do a region, and let's go ahead and set it on our chart. All right, and I'm not going to actually take any kind of a breakout trade. I want this or phantom. Okay, so I'm going to actually look for a short at the top here, like a touch +2. Okay, because if it hits this, I'd more than likely be clicking the market order button anyway, but we're going to use Object Trader tonight. So to get the region, you just simply hit insert. It brings it up on your chart. When it's inserted, it's gray. That's your inactive color. You can size it, you can move it, you can do anything with it that you want. Okay, and it's not active. Now once it becomes active, you can't move it around. Okay, to activate it, I just simply hit enter. Okay, so this is an active chart now, so this means short inside that I'm looking for 2 ticks from the top of this box. So in other words, what if it doesn't come up quite to this predictor and it misses it by a tick or so? Well then, if it misses it by 1 tick, it's going to roll over and give me the trade. If it blows up through it, it'll never fire the trade short. Okay, now if it went up through it really quick and then came back down, it would fire the trade. Okay, so we'll see what it actually does. I'm going to go ahead and start the replay mode, and we'll put it on about 6 times. Oh, and I've got to move sorry about that. I got to move this to where it needs to be. We were playing around with it, so obviously we got to get it set right. Okay, and then I'm going to set it. And we need to go a little higher right there to ellipse, and let's see if we can get a trade. Now remember, if it just blows up through this box, it will not fire long because I've got all shorts set, but it will not fire short either unless it comes within 2 ticks, actually 2 ticks of the top of this box, and then ticks down 1 tick, and it just fired it. Now let's see what kind of heat we feel on it. We're up $30. Now we're back to break even. Our stop is just 12 ticks. We could look to the left to trade the right. And you know, if you're going to head down, you need a lower high than this, right? See your high, little lower high, little lower highs. So you're really looking for lower than this. So I would probably leave that 12 ticks where it's at. Is your personal preference to touch or close at the predictor? Well, Tom, on your question, the one thing I find on these predictor type trades is if you don't go ahead and, get them really quickly as they get up to touch the predictor, a lot of times when you wait for the close or you box it in or whatever, there may not be enough space, to get you like a 10 tick trade. I kind of like to take them myself on like a touch, but I usually, since I'm teaching in the room and everything, I usually just fire a market order, or turn on my bar close. And you could do that way. I'm going to show you all of the object types that you can use. We used the region just now. Okay. Now, since we're already in this trade, okay, we've got 3 contracts. We could reposition our box if we wanted to, like so, and even fire like another contract if we wanted to by simply turning on the contract, turning this one off, this one on, and if it touched down below this little area, it would go ahead and fire another one. Okay, so you can add to the trade also if you want to. Okay, since we got 3 contracts and we could easily be down $360 if this goes against us, we're not going to do that right now. See, we're down 120 bucks. That's 4 ticks. Okay, let's see if we continue with this trade. Our stop's 12. If we get stopped out, we'll be down 360 and I'll have to find another trade. But that is a predictor trade. It's also a phantom trade, and that's an 85% probability trade. Let's see if it's going to work. How many of you get nervous and go ahead and hit the button instead? Oh my gosh, I'm down 120, and you just say close? Well, if you were in one contract, obviously it would only be down, say, 40 bucks instead. Hey, Byron, how's it going? Tonight we're going to be talking about object trader, object types, and how to use them in your real trading. Okay, we're feeling about $120. Not a biggie as of yet. And if I move my stop too tight, I could get stopped out and lose, say, $150, maybe even $200. There's $180. Let's see if this thing works out. Maybe it's going to, maybe it's not. Find out here in just a minute. There, we're back to break even. They love to do that, don't they? The phantom trade, yes, Mary, on your question, let me pause this for just a second. The phantom trade, what you're looking for is always look for a trend change. You go from green or even blue, which is a long type trade, to a short type trade. You're looking for first time into phantom, which is between lines 6 and 7. Okay? And usually, if it's going to really head up, it's going to take out phantom and just start heading up. And of course, we got our stop in to protect that. Okay? And then I'll show you where the other phantom would be. As a matter of fact, it would have been right here, although the market was pretty much getting ready to close. This is the phantom trade right here. When it came down, see where the bar came back up, you had just barely turned that pink right there, and you could have gotten that trade. Now, we're not making anything just yet. We're still, till I get at least a scalp, which is, going to be at least on top of this little swing, say something like that, even that's 6 ticks, then I'm not going to move my stop just yet. But it did not reach phantom, but it did reach the predictor. That's why I went ahead and took it, because it didn't have to reach the phantom. That predictor was saying that my trade was really right about here at 30. So we only felt a few ticks of heat. But keep in mind that when this actually fired, though, it actually fired right in through here, as you can see with the line. So that was probably about 5 or 6 ticks of heat, and now we're in the money again. All right. Now, usually when I get into a trade, I go ahead and move my final target, and then I look for swings. Midband is a good area for phantom type trades to take some profit. And we may chop around a bit. It's hard to say. This is the middle of the night. They don't always give you those big runs. But the one thing about this is you could have, yes, waited for the bar to close down, and you would have gotten filled about the same place I did anyway. Now, when we talk about boxing in, let me show you a little trick to this, because this works out pretty well too. See where you're heading up on your candle, then down on your candle? You can usually put it just behind the third candle. In other words, when it breaks that line. So candle, candle, candle breaks the line, you're in the trade. That's like a real tight box. Okay, we're still okay, but we're not making any money yet. 60 bucks. Hardly enough to even hardly pay the broker for 3 contracts, because that's around what, $14 or so for your 3 contracts. So that wouldn't be really worth hitting the trigger, right? And guess what? Predictor is going to show us where our target should be. And in this chop, I'll probably take it too, because when you get into a room, for instance, or on your charts, and you see a high and a low, and you're in the middle of all that stuff, you're trading predictors. You're not looking for this thing to literally break down until it takes out that entire range right there. Doesn't mean we can't short that top, though, because our chart said to. Let me fast forward this a little bit. That's like, I'll go 10 times just so it'll at least pick up a little bit. Now, does everybody see how to use the region, though? The region is set up so that you can look at the top of it and the bottom of it, and you can choose how you trade it based on touch, touch plus, close, close plus. Okay, and I'll go over some of that real quick. Let's see if we can at least get a little bit of a trade on this first, since I fired the trade. At least a little bit of profit. Now that's making me more nervous because that went up higher, but we'll see. Have not gotten a scalp yet, so I usually leave my stop alone until I do. There's my basically my scalp. So what I'll do is I'll put an exit on close, just a couple of ticks above that swing. Exit on close, and hopefully it holds it. We got like 120 bucks, 170, 210. There's another target. Now we're making some coin. Okay, now this is a predictor right there. See that predictor right there? I can go ahead and take that off, flatten, because this is kind of telling me that more than likely I'm going to bounce there a little bit. And so where's your next trade on this chart? It's already showing you where it is. I'll draw 2 lines because I like to draw both of them. Here's one here, all right, and here's another one right here. If it goes anywhere between those 2 lines, I'm going to short it again. And the way to do that, of course, you could do it like, let's get this out of the way. So we'll do something like this. So let's see, that's how many ticks. Let's look at it. 18 to 21 is just 3 ticks. So basically, if I put that at like 3 ticks from the top, it should at least get to here. But if it shoots up through, then I'm hoping to get the trade here instead. Okay, so let's try that. We'll turn it on, and we'll let it do its thing. And I'm going to set this for short inside, touch plus 3. See why I analyze that like that? Because I've got 2 predictors, so it hadn't ever touched this one. So you draw your line. This one it drew, that's a mid band. And let's see which one of them fills. None of them yet. See why I took that profit at that predictor, though? You're in chop. When you've got a stair-stepping, totally down, you can trust those KISS trades. And I've got a good webinar on that I'll show to you before we wrap the room tonight. But see how you can use this? See, I'm not even using the bottom of this. The bottom is not even counting. See, it's inactive. I'm looking for this retracement right up in here between these 2 lines for a touch plus 3. So I should be able to get it either at this line here, with a rollover, because that's 3 ticks from that top. So if it touches that line and rolls 1 tick, it will fire it. Okay? And that's how I can get it without hitting the full top there. Okay, let's see if we can get it. And I'll show you another way to trade this too if you want. You can simply draw your lines like we do in the room and wait for it to actually get in that area and then roll over. See, we designed Object Trader because with a region, you can actually utilize that top and that bottom button for some very, very good trades. Let's see, having the new entries at the lines will be so great. Oh, you mean the ray that we're going to try to get done, Diane? Yeah, I'm definitely going to be working on getting that done, letting my programmer rest just a little while, and going to get him back on stuff again. Okay, we're heading up a little bit more. Let's see if we can get something. By the way, there's another way you can look at this too. I see a trend line. So if they don't happen to get up here and they roll over and take out my trend line and this little swing, you could also fire the trade too. And that's what I want to add to Object Traders, where you can actually utilize both of the types of entries at one time on a chart. Because it doesn't always get up there to that predictor. It may roll over right where we're at. See, there's a little resistance right here too, right where my cursor's at. We've got it going 10 times. It's just slow time of the night. Let's see. Yeah, the ray is going to be great, but also, like we discussed, having entries on the individual lines. Oh, yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, where you can actually get into trades based on the dynamic trend. Are we going to get a trade or not? See, it broke the low over here, but it didn't break our low down here or here as of yet. There we go. We just got our trade. See how it came? Feeling a little bit of heat, so you can tell. Now it's white. That means break even. Now it's red, losing a little bit. Stops in. Feeling a little bit more heat. See if it'll roll over. Predictor's holding so far. We're still feeling a little bit of heat though. Now, like I said, what I normally do is I turn off my region, or even do up here like this, change it, or you can just simply hit insert and it'll do the same thing. Okay, to get rid of it. Notice we have exit on close on. And I'm going to get one of my targets out of the way, and I'm going to look for some other areas. It's already been down here, so it should this next time go down to here. See where my line is? Okay. And let's see if we can get this trade. Right now we're still red, a little bit, not much, tick or so. Got to at least get our scalp before we move our break even. Not break even, but swing. Lightning swing. See, until you actually get that at least scalp, you really don't want to put your stop right here. See what I mean? Like right there? Because they'll tag it. But see, once this thing gives me my scalp, then you can move that. Everybody see that? Okay. Now I want to show you another tool that we've designed in Object Trader. We'll see if it'll work for what we want here. I'm going to go ahead and put my stop here at line 5, but I'm going to do it dynamically so it moves with the trade. So I pick 5, trail enabled, engage trail. Now it drops right to 5, and 5 will continue heading down if we're going to head down. See how so far you've been sideways for quite a while? Well, we're not heading down just yet, but we might. We'll see. So I'll leave the trail stop right there, and that looks like a pretty good area for me. Let's see, will exit on close only work on range bars, or will it work on minute charts also? It'll work on any bars, James, on your question. It just has to wait for the close of the bar. I haven't tried it on minute. I'll check that. because it is designed, you know, because these bars obviously are set. You know, there's 4 ticks for each bar. So that's actually a good question. I'll check into that. Look here, we got a nice little target, a little profit so far. Now, wouldn't you want to take some coin at like this predictor? But we've only got 2 contracts left, so I'm going to try to get down to here. See, they've already tested this swing here. See it? They even took it out a little bit. So they're going to try to get here. All right, let's just leave our trailing stop running. You've used it with small Rankos and it seems to work on bar close. Well, Rankos will work. So I guess when that bar actually closes, it just fires that market order. So I would imagine it does. I'd have to get with my programmer for sure, but I think it would. Now watch how this dynamic stop will actually drop automatically too. See, we've got it engaged on line 5, which is this line right here where that shadow is. Anybody not understand that one just yet? There are 9 lines on this chart. See how it dropped automatically? There is line 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. Okay, and you just simply choose the one you want. We've chosen 5, so I'll leave it there for right now. Not too shabby, actually. Now, you want to see how you can actually get into add-ons? Well, it broke down right here, so let's see if it'll go back and kiss that. If it doesn't, I'm going to actually take it if it kisses. Let's see. It's breaking down. Looking to the left to trade the right. It should at least kiss right there. It looks like it's already doing that, though, so we may not get anything. Show you another tool right here. See if it'll go up a little bit. That's good enough. See, it's trying to get near stealth right here. There we go. We just got, well, we should have. Didn't get them. See if we can get it again. Bar close, short. There we go. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and move my stop because they're respecting line 4 now to line 4 and engage the trail. And let's see, do we have our runner out of the way? Let's go ahead and get our runner out of the way. That's our runner right there, which is target 4. I like to keep them in order the way they should be. Okay, and there we go. We got a beautiful, beautiful trade. Okay, and that's how that works. Now, we should be able to tell where the next trade is on this chart. Look at this dropping just beautifully. See that trail stop drop? See it dropping? Now, when we get taken out, that's fine. Okay, now we're in 1, and I'm going to add to this trade if we get a retracement. Let's look and see where the retracement should be. Okay, we got to get a predictor. You would expect it to actually come right back up to here, but that's quite a bit above midman, so I doubt it. There's your predictor right there. We'll add 3. Predictor, it'll add on the bar close. There you go. Pretty cool, huh? Now, if you want to really stack on to your trade, take all the extras that you just added off at the swing and then add again if it happens to go sideways. We don't know if it's going to go sideways, but let's just see. Now that's 2 of the things on the object types that I'm teaching right now, region and bar close. I'm going to show you ray in just a couple of minutes. We'll do a ray trade. We're leaving our runner. Nice. We want to try to take some profit on this. That may not go It didn't quite get down to the low, did it? And we're in 3, so we'll just wait around and see what we get here. Got 2 targets right here. I'm going to go ahead and try to take one of them off right through there. There's another predictor, but we're already in 3, so we're not going to add again because that would be a little risky. Okay, but it's saying that we should hit our head right there. Beautiful hit. Beautiful hit. Those predictors are awesome. Not too shabby, huh? And they're showing that we should have a target down here, predictor. Where would our stop be on this if we wanted to really tighten up when we've got 3 contracts? Right now would be right there. And by the way, you can move this manually, and it'll turn this trail stop back on only if you don't disable the trail. Okay. Pretty good, huh? Okay, let's see if we can get into, let's see, are those of us in the open house able to get a trial of OT? Absolutely. Mary, on your question, if you go to our website at vipertradingsystems.com and sign up for the free trial, and you'll get a confirmation email, which you'll want to send to us, you'll get the actual package that I'm using right now. The only difference is that Object Trader will work in sim or replay mode only. It won't work live. That's the only difference. That's just so that, you know, we don't have somebody come in, download a trial and blow a real account not realizing how to use Object Trader. You see what I mean? Because you can turn this on live. Right now we're in replay mode, okay? And in sim mode, even on the control center. I think everybody knows that, right? If you're wanting to make sure you're in sim, always turn your global sim mode on. Okay, this looks like a pretty good trade, doesn't it? I'm going to show you how to, if you want to, let's see if we can get, got resistance right across here right now. Because this looks like a pretty good thrust. I'm thinking we're going to get a little bit of a retrace. Should hit there. And that's your swing right there, at this moment anyway. So let's see if we can get another swing that we can actually use Object Trader to box in for very possibly back up. Or you know what else you can do? You can actually use, see how this is respecting line 2 pretty well? You can actually put this on line 2. We'll do an engaged trail and we'll reverse it. And we'll only go for like 5 ticks. I see this a lot, and a lot of our traders have started seeing this too. See how they're starting to slow down a little bit? Now, if they just keep going down, we're going to stay with our trail 2. No big deal. This is a way to show you, this isn't an object type, but this is another way to show you that you can also use exit on close and reverse if you want to. Okay, you can also even reverse at a target. Now, this may not work out, but let me show you how to do that. I'll show you how to use a reverse at target. This is target 4, so let's reverse at target 4 for the fun of it. See if it'll hit that ellipse. And this will actually, and I'll put my trail stop back even to 4. We don't care about it now. Okay, because this is what we call a target reverse right here on Object Trader. And I'll tell you what, I find out a lot of times these will pay for 5 ticks when they hit these predictors, especially when it's gone down quite a bit. Watch and see if it does. Click it and reverse it. See if we can get 5 ticks for the fun of it. Speed it up a little bit more, it looks like. You'll notice that they bounce quite a bit off those predictors. Now when they're going sideways, not as much, but see, this is stair-stepping now. May not get it. We'll find out. I just wanted to show you what we've built into Object Trader. This is a new feature that we've added, a reverse at even a target. There's nothing on the left to say that that'll stop, so we may be wrong, but I'm going to show you how it works anyway. If we get stopped out, I just want to show you how it works. You have to have a reverse at stop as well to reverse a target? No. No, you can actually turn this off. We don't need that. This is actually going to reverse at target 4, which, see, this is target 4. See where it says ST4? That's target 4. So I'm going to go ahead and reverse there just to show how it works. That's if we get there. We may get stopped out. And I'll show you how to utilize Object Trader. Now this is a very counter-trend trade. I mainly want to show you how to use this feature. See if we can get it. Haven't gotten it yet. Looks like we might. There's a thrust, retrace thrust, a little lower high. See if we can get it. Now this particular trade here, I would highly advise doing several of them in sim, but I think you'll find that a lot of times these will work. They're pretty good at it. Watch it hit that target and it'll reverse that trade. Yeah, still didn't get there. May get stopped out first. Nope, not yet. Now it's past my ellipse now, so I'm going to move this, see where it's past it on price. So I'm going to move this now to the next ellipse. See, it's already past it. If you draw your line, see how the prices are past my ellipse? So now it's going to draw another one. Since we didn't get filled, we're going to wait for another one and see if we get a little reverse. There it is. Maybe got it, maybe not. There you go, you reversed. That must have been a quick, I'm not sure if that did that or not. It did reverse, but it quickly killed the target. So I'm not sure if that was a speed and it actually got the 5 ticks in real time where this computer may be lagging just a little bit. Okay. Another way that you can do on this too, see this line right here where lightning is? You can actually go long on those even, because a lot of times those will pay off. Okay, give you 5 ticks or so. Let's look at this and see. You barely took out this low. We missed that trade right there. That's okay. We're going to take it again right there. And we needed all of them actually, but that's all right. We'll just take that. That's fine. By the way, I think if you were in the room today, you saw us call that trade too. We got it. All right. And then this is getting closer to inventory, so obviously we're not going to trade inventory. Let me fast forward it past inventory, at least to get past inventory. It's going to shotgun here in a minute. There's your shotgun happening. Isn't that amazing? Still on, well, we're at 932. I didn't draw the little boxes and everything, but you can clearly see, remember this trade I called in the room this morning? We boxed that little area right there. And I was trying just now to go ahead and get a box drawn, but it was too quick. I've got it going at like 10 times normal speed. We'll see if we can get another one though. May not come back to there. No, it's just trying to head up. Remember where we got that this morning? We boxed that in. See if we can get a little bit of a pullback. Right on top of my swing and my predictor. See if we can get some action on that one right there. That's a predictor. See why I took that trade? Now I did that one just more manually, but I think you can clearly see why, right? Because it was bouncing off predictor. That's not a bad little trade. And we'll go ahead and get our target out of the way. Let's see if we can use a ray next. I'll show you the ray. We've done bar close and region, and I'm going to draw a ray. And for the fun of it, I'm going to go ahead and add 3 right here because I want to show you how to utilize the ray to even take contracts off if you want to. Let's go to the ray, hit insert, draw my little ray here. And I will short the ray of 1 contract. It won't short my, see I've got 4 contracts on, so that means it'll only take off, say 2, if we happen to touch that ray plus like 1, and then I'm going to hit enter. All right, so it would have to touch that line right there to get rid of 2 contracts. See how the ray is? I've got inactive on my top, just like a box, and I've got active on my bottom. So if this actually touches that red line, it will get rid of 2 of my contracts. Pretty cool little feature on that ray too. Okay, so touch plus 1, it will sell 2 contracts out of my 4. Pretty good little jump up, huh? Now, by the way, you can go ahead and move your ray in real time. See this right through here? See where I'm following the bottoms of those candles right there? Just a little bit off on this one. But if it takes out right here, because that's a pretty good thrust, it'll take off 2 of my contracts. The ray, by the way, you can actually, there it did, just did, see 2. Okay. And we're going to use, let's use sniper to add on this one and see if we can get something else. I'm going to do a line at mid-band for a pullback. I'm going to use my sniper. Let's see, that's below, so that'll be that one. Touch plus 2. And I'm going to even do it right there at predictor instead. So long touch plus 2, if it touches predictor, we'll add 2 contracts. That's the way you use sniper, by the way. Now it's looking for, see, and it already got it, long touch plus 2. All right, and since we don't have anything to the left to look at space-wise, we could go ahead and bring this one here, since it's got 2 contracts on it, and let that one hit that top. And usually you want to fade it a little bit. And there's a predictor right there saying where we should hit. Now that's how you use sniper. See, sniper actually is like the region. Let me just stop this for a moment. Sniper is a horizontal line that you use. See that little dot right there? That's actually where it would fire the trade. But we had it set at touch plus 2, so when this came within 2 ticks of that line and ticked back up, it fired the trade. So can you move it when it's active? Absolutely. The ray you're talking about, Mary, right? The ray? Yeah, let me show you. Let's just see if we can get a ray trade. We got some pretty good trades so far. So let's close this one out. I'm going to get rid of sniper. I'll just go ahead and get rid of all my lines. If you ever do that, be sure and get rid of that little dot because that's a live trade if you turn these on with Sniper on. Okay, so to get rid of that dot, just hit delete. All right, you want to try a ray trade? We'll move it in real time. We'll do array insert. We'll do a short. We'll just leave the line like it is. So we're going to do only if this breaks this ray, we'll do a little counter trend trade just to show you how the ray can work and where we can move it in real time. So let's go ahead and turn it on. Now the reason that line's green right now is because we don't have an offset. If we had an offset, see there's the offset right there. And you can absolutely move it while it's active. I could even add it on the top here and even do this and see then it's got two red lines, which would mean that it would short when it touches this line within the 2 ticks. But the ray, you got to remember, you've actually got to touch the line. It's not like region. See, region, if you're trading region and you set it for touch +2, it can get within 2 ticks or 2 ticks out. I'm going to show that so it's not confusing here in just a few minutes. So members will know where this is. And the video will also walk the people that are on trial with us through how to use it also. But this ray trade right here, see, is a channel. It can actually be in real time. Click on the middle one right here. So you got to be on the middle one, and you can do this with it while it's live. This is actually a live. So for instance, if I was to move it like that right there, it would fire that trade the second it touches that red line. So be careful, you know, when you're moving it like this. And always remember your third dot or your first one is the one that actually angles. See? Like that. So you can actually move it. You know, for instance, I can attach it there. I can attach it right there, and it'll fire that trade if it happens to touch that. And when we get the new ray, this is a channel ray. I like it, but I don't love it. I like something like this. I like to be able to draw a ray on the chart like this, but then I'd also like to be able to draw a ray on the chart like, say, this. And then it would take whichever trade that I wanted. You see what I mean? In other words, it would break here to go down or it would break here to go up. And we're going to have that probably within the next month or so, if everything works out. My programmer says that's fairly complex, but he's about the best programmer I've ever seen, so he can handle it. Thank goodness he doesn't charge me $150 an hour like some of them do either. He's been really good to me. Oh, you can use the money lines too, absolutely. I'll show those on a next webinar since this is about Object Trader tonight. But let's go ahead and see if we can get anything. We may just keep heading up, and if we do, what are we going to wait for, Viper traders? Well, you would have to have a thrust above and a pullback, right? Some kind of a pullback. That's getting ready to fire, by the way. There it is. Get a target out of the way. You'd probably expect it to go to mid-band. And we've got 2 on, so we're fine. By the way, if you want to fire it again, just turn that back on. And the second it touches that, see, it would fire more. If you turn this one off and hit enter again, that one's inactive. See it? This one is active. If I turn that back on, it would fire 2 more. Not saying that you should do that, but this is very interactive product here. You can move it. You can do anything you want with it live on the chart, and you'll see it fire there. Well, actually, we did the inside one, so it should have actually fired. Oh, I did touch +4. Okay, that's probably what it was. But see, we're in the trade. This looks like this might even be a trend change. We'll find out. If it hits its head there and bounces, it won't be a trend change. That turned out to be a pretty good little ray trade, didn't it? Now, where would we put our stop on this one? Well, since we're short, let's get rid of the ray. Just hit insert. That gets rid of the ray. See our little lightning swing right there? That's at line 5. I'd put my stop at line 6 for right now. Just like that. And now that it's starting to respect midband, I'd put it at line 5. Just like that. And we need to move our target. Now, real quick on this chart, where's the next trade on this chart? Let's say you weren't in anything at all. Does everybody see the trade? Predictor, look to the left to trade the right. I don't see anything else. It would have to hit between here and, well, actually all the way up to here, and I don't think they're going to go that high. Not on the first time, because midband is usually a pretty good trade. I'm going to watch the bar. There we go. That's good enough. Everybody see where that rolled over? And that's the way you trade that, with just using the market order if you want. Notice that that little ellipse there was just a pretty good place to get in, wasn't it? And that was also a mid-band trade, 80% probability trade after a trend change. So if this breaks down a little bit, where do you think it'll pull back to? I can tell you about where I think it will. It should hit right across here. See, it just did. See that little swing? I'm going to go ahead and add 2 more, simply because it hit that resistance area that hadn't checked yet. Okay, so now you know how to use the ray, the region, and the bar close, and really the sniper. Now, sniper, what the deal is with sniper, you're actually drawing lines on your chart. I'm going to get these out of the way of price for right now. We'll put it there and all the way down here. Let me show you how sniper actually works. Sniper, when you turn sniper on and you hit enter, you'll notice that this one turns green and this one turns magenta. The reason for that is because this is like a region. This is the top of the region. This is the bottom of the region. Okay, so you're simply telling it how you want to take the trade by touch plus, and all that. And I'm going to show you on our website where you can see all that, so you can get in these trades like this. By the way, stealth is also a really good when they're coming down like this. See that trade right there at stealth? Not too shabby either. That looks like a pretty good little predictor low for right now, don't you think? I'd be protecting some coin. And of course, our stop we would actually be doing with probably mid-band right now, so we need to turn that on. Gauge the trail. Ride the runner. Draw your trend lines on your chart. Remember, we drew this in real time today. That's the same trend line. It's good enough. We may not get there, but that's a pretty good trend line still. You like that, Tom? Let me show everybody real quick, because we're getting close to the end, and I'll show you real quick on the website. Bear with me a second. Now for members, you can go into the website under member login. I think everybody knows, right? ViperTradingSystems.com. Go to member login. Okay. And I'll go with Gary with my password, log in. And scroll down, and you're going to see how to trade the Object Trader with the chart legend for Object Trader, the trade types for Object Trader, and the sniper line setups. Okay, let's start with sniper for just a second since I was talking about it just a minute ago. Okay, if you'll go to this particular little deal here, you know, what I did is I just simply clicked on the JPEG sniper line setups, and this tells you based on assuming a 2-tick offset, sniper line setups, and it's like a region. Okay, if you use both lines, that is. If you use only one line, just remember if the price is below the line, it'll be green, and if the price is above the line, it'll be magenta. Okay, and this is showing the different types of trade, assuming your T button is your top button right here, T button, and the B button is your bottom button. Okay, and this is assuming a 2-tick offset. So long outside would mean 2 ticks above, tick to confirm, fires the trade. Long inside, 2 ticks, like a touch, would mean that it would fire 2 ticks from the top of this box as long as it ticked back upward. If you were shorting the top of this region, or sniper, either one, short outside would mean 2 ticks outside. It would fire the trade as long as it confirmed it by a tick. And short inside would be 2 ticks inside the line or the region, and it would fire it. So these are the type of trades that it takes with the T button and the B button. Okay, and I marked each one of them: long outside, long inside, short outside, short inside. That's your T button. That's the top. The B button would be long inside, inside the box, really easy to remember. Long outside the box or line, see what I mean with sniper, and short inside or short outside. And that's exactly the way a region works also. Okay, so what you're doing, you know, I've drawn this like this so it shows a region also, but let me go back one and I'll show you the chart legend for a region. Okay, assuming the same thing, T and B buttons, it simply tells you long outside, long above line, short above line if you're on the T button. See, it's showing each trade that's available. And if you want to see it a little clearer, of course, this one shows a little clearer. Let's see, if you had more than 2 lines on the chart, what happens then? Do they all get activated? No, they don't. Let me show you what they do. I'll just fire a bunch of lines on the chart. Let me get rid of the lines first. And we'll wrap here pretty soon. And I'm going to get rid of the little dots by hitting this button. We'll kill this trade. We don't care about it. All right, let's say that you had a line here, a line here, a line here, and a line here. Which do you think of those lines will light up? Because remember I said price has to be below the line for the T button and above the line for the B button. So it should, if everything's working right, and I go to sniper and hit enter, it should be these 2 lines, this one and this one. So hit enter, and there they are. See, now if I happen to move this line out of the way and delete that, what line would light up? Well, obviously this one, right? There it is. So it knows if price is below the line or above the line. So if you put a bunch of lines on the chart, obviously which one's going to light up even now? This one and this one, right? Watch. Now this one stays. I want to get this changed in my future because see, that line doesn't change colors and I don't like that. But I know that if my price is below and above, that's the true one. See the little dots there? Those dots are actually where the price is. That's where the trade will trigger. Okay? For instance, if I was to be looking for a retracement on this, like into, say, the mid-band, let's see if we can get a mid-band trade. I'll just kill all these lines real quick, and we'll wrap pretty soon. We may still head down a little bit. This is a pretty good move. That's your mid-band trade. We missed it a little while ago. We'll see if we can get another one, though. Because I'll bet we can. Want to see if we can? Surely. All right, let's see. Well, we know our predictor is right here, right? That actually looks like a pretty good area. So let's see, our previous predictor was right here, so I'm going to draw 2 lines. Okay, and well, midband is right here. So let's just go ahead and do a sniper trade on here. We'll do a short at the top and a short outside the bottom on a touch +2, and we'll see which one fires. Now this one won't activate yet, okay, until we get, so right now obviously we're just going to use this green line, because remember, price has to be below it for green and above it for magenta. So only one of those lines is active right now, and that's priced at 44.01. Sniper, you going to fire, or did I turn you off somehow? And we definitely do have our green dot on it, right? Now it's between the two. Let's see if we can get one of those. Those dots are on, aren't they? No, I'm not seeing the dots. I see the dot right there. Okay, so the magenta one is on. Let's see if we can get that trade. And I'll be ready to sell it if it doesn't. It should at touch +2 on the inside, so that would mean 2 ticks inside this line. I'll get this one out of the way. We don't need it right now. See if we can get a trade. Now, what would you also do in the room, though, when we see this particular trade setting up right here? Guess what you do? You box it. You don't have to use sniper in this situation. You can actually even use the region. But let's see if sniper fires, and then we'll wrap. If it doesn't, I'm going to fire anyway. Touch +2 inside, and that should have fired on. Yeah, it didn't. I may have done something when I was moving all those lines around. So if I miss a trade, you know what I do? I wait for the next trade. So let's see if we can get another one. I'll put it on about 30 or 40 times and see if we get another one right here. Well, we just did. It hit the line. We didn't fire it though. See how it hit perfectly where we wanted it? Anyway, once we get this updated, sniper is going to become the ray, because I want it to where I can actually not have a horizontal line, but a ray. And then I can fire the trade any way I want to. Okay, and of course you can use it obviously straight too. Okay, and that's what we're going to add to Object Trader and get rid of the sniper and do where it'll be region ray, time trade, bar close, but the ray is going to be a double ray. Okay, all right. Wow, look at that thing changing right now. Another trade setting up. What do you think? I'll take it. See, yellow bar probe right there. I think I killed Object Traders, what I did with Sniper, because I'm not firing trades. If that ever happens to you, the best thing to do is reload NinjaScript, check your positions, make sure you're not in any positions, and just let it redo, because Object Trader got out of a loop somehow, is what's happening. And the way my internet's acting, it could be somewhat that too. Fired it a little bit late. I'm going to go ahead and put my stop just under the swing. Okay, and if this takes me out, then we'd be looking for another trade where thrust up, mid-band. If it doesn't work, we'll be looking for closer to phantom. Let's see if we can get it. If it stops us out, we'll get a phantom trade. There's a little phantom trade right there. Now keep in mind that was a little risky just to hit the button, but those type of trades will work quite often if you just hit the button when they hit this line 2. And if you wanted to add to this, wait till it breaks this little area right here, like that. See where it broke that area? Kisses it again, and off she goes. That's what they'll usually do. Okay? All righty. Thanks everyone for coming. Hope you got something out of this tonight. And we will continue developing great tools for everyone to use and keep you on the right side of the trade, because it's important to stay on the right side of the trade. All right, and I ran out of data, so we stopped the chart. It was at the end of the day that I just did my updating till about 10:30, 10:40. All right, any final questions before we wrap? Any final questions before we wrap? Oh, we have losing trades too, absolutely, UCBO. In the room today, does anybody remember a losing trade? Losing days? No. No, we don't believe in losing days. Because when you actually see how to trade on this chart, it's going to be hard for you to lose in a day. And we'll call some really, really good trades for you to begin with, because that's what we're all about. All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day, and we will see you tomorrow morning. And remember, after oil inventory, we have some pretty good runs on crude oil too. All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a good one. Clifford, on your question, very possibly. You know, we've got to get ready for Ninja 8 before we go to any other platforms. But, you know, we have tossed that around a little bit. And it'll probably cost us a small fortune to get it written over, because Object Trader alone is about 15,000 lines of code. And the broker, as a rule, is either Ninja Trader. If you come in fresh off the street, you're going to get Ninja Trader as your broker. And if you come in, you know, if you've already been with like AMP, you can usually stay with them. I'm with AMP, and I've also got Ninja Trader. All right. Again, thanks, everyone. Have a great day, and we'll see you in the morning. Thanks again.